Hello, and welcome to Friday Night Cast, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight as we are a community of applied spiritual and therapeutic tabletop gamers who use and explore the benefits of tabletop gaming in our work. We are very glad to have you here tonight with us. If this is your first time joining us tonight, hello, welcome. Thanks for coming along on this ride. If you're coming back and joining us again, so lovely to see you again. We would appreciate very much if you checked out any of our cool places that we're posting things and videos and content, including the YouTubes. And cool, I know how to say things. The Twitters and the Twitches out there. You know, so there's stuff. We're at Cast Gamers on most of them. If you Google Cast with 2 T's, you can find us or search any of your favorite platforms. If you're watching this on Twitch, do check us out on YouTube as our videos are archived and post there. So yes, thank you everybody for joining us here. Also, if you have any questions, comments, want to know anything about what we do here or our gaming, please post in the comments here or in the chat, I'm sorry, on Twitch, or post in the comments on the YouTube if you're watching this later. We will, hopefully somebody out there on my team is paying attention because my internet is not the best and I can't watch the stream and monitor the chat and GM for you at the same time here. So please.
Can't do all the things?
I can't do all the things. So one of you, please let me know if there's any questions and we'll be happy to answer them. We'll also post links and different pieces in the chat as we talk about what's going on. So I'm seeing in our chat over here, though, that Tim is Dustin. Oh, Tim is Tim now. That's great to know. Tim is
You
Tim.
had a twin for a moment.
I had a twin. Great.
You were going to be the GM and Calvin.
Oh, yeah. So good luck with that. Because Calvin's a lot.
Calvin. We'll get to Calvin shortly. But can we switch back to Tim and do some announcements in the meantime?
Yeah, now that I exist, absolutely.
We are
Oh,
all
great.
adjusted now. Yes, thank you, back in for your work.
Thank you, Iron.
The Iron Fish, hard at work back there.
You're welcome.
So there's quite a few announcements, actually. Like we have our good friends over at Bodahana. They are on their Twitch channel, which is, someone help me here.
It's just Bodana.
Bodana.
Twitch.tv/Bodana.
Yes.
There you go.
Yep.
They have a bunch of streams coming up on the 13th and the 28th. They have Coffee with Crimson at 2 p.m. They will be doing a interview with Crimson Pleasure, featuring a wide array of people from gaming and mental health, which will be pretty interesting. Then they have the Bodahana cast on the 20th at 6 p.m. and Table Boundaries at 6 p.m. on the 21st, and Roll for Terror at 6 p.m. on the 27th.
I'm so excited for Roll for Terror.
Yeah, it'll be a one-shot horror live play led by James Kirk and Matt Verrett, which should be awesome because I've played games with James before and he's awesome at doing horror and suspense. Upcoming for cast, we have on the 19th, we have a change. We are no longer going to be switching from Kids on Brooms and Wanderhome. We're going to stick with Kids on Brooms until we finish. This way we could keep better continuity for ourselves and for you, the viewers, because we get really confused and we can imagine you do too. We will also be on the 21st. So yeah, on the 21st, we will be streaming Gaze of Our Lives, Grand Guggenhall. That will be at 4 p.m. Eastern time for the next episode. Find out if Cavi cracks the cipher, how Baco's Uncle Samuel is involved with the monsters, and if Persephone will tame the beast that haunts Ezra's soul. And just to keep up with our Kickstarters, because there's so many of them, check out Women Are Werewolves, still on Kickstarter. Is another 11 days about that, I believe, to help unlock all the stretch goals and keep a checkout for our live play from it from last weekend here on Twitch or on the YouTube page. And I'll drop a link for the Kickstarter into the chat. That's it. That's all I have. A whole lot.
Awesome. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, super exciting with the Bodhana group starting some streaming. And hopefully soon, if I get my act together, we will have to get Jack back on the channel for some more Win Jack's games. So a little bit of kind of cross work that we do and everything we love to do with the Bodhana group.
Not if, when.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when I get my stuff together. Thank you. I will eventually. This week has not been the week for that, unfortunately. So yes, definitely exciting stuff as they're starting up some of their content as well. And we always like to promote and support other people and content creators and game designers that we're excited about that are doing really cool stuff out there. So, yes, and very exciting also for me running Kids on Brooms. We will be doing this weekly rather than alternating every other week. And I think the goal is to get through our first year at Yale. So we'll have to see how that plays out and probably have like some more time jumps in between and everything as we go. But we're super excited, and hopefully if things go well, and everyone seems quite involved, and Kayla already wants to graduate from Yale. So we'll probably keep coming back to this story and these characters in different seasons and seeing what happens to them as the years go on through Yale and our Yalecapades seasons here. So we're super excited about that. And for those of you who don't know, we are playing Kids on Brooms tonight, created by Jonathan Gilmour, Doug Lewandowski, and Spencer Stark. Kids on Brooms is within the Kids on Bikes system, and it is a system that uses magic and the ability to cast magic through this kind of collaborative world building adventure. It's a lot of fun. We're super enjoying it. If you like Kids on Brooms, check it out. Support your indie tabletop designers.
Check out that link in the in the chat.
Renegade Game Studios. And yeah, while you're there, take a look at the Free Content Friday stuff as well for all of the Renegade Game Studios. I think it's the first Friday of each month they post free adventure modules and different things. There was one Friday, I think this year, where they posted different just like audio hooks you could use within your games. Some really cool stuff that's out there that Renegade Game Studios and the designers are all working together to bring you. So definitely check that stuff out, support it, and play it, have fun, make your own world, or play in this one. My goal is at some point to create kind of an adventure module. So if somebody wants to play in this world at Yale in New Haven that we've created here, you will have the kind of base structure to create your own stories within that as well. So yes, so I kind of have on my schedule that we've been doing the recap and then the check-in, but the way we kind of left things last time on a cliffhanger, I'd like to do the check-in and then go right into our gameplay, if that's okay with everyone, as I do the kind of recap and check-in, because we were kind of right in the middle of some action from the end of our last episode. So I'd like to kick it over to Menachem to do our checking in and checking in our characters and ourselves into the magic circle here and starting our play tonight.
Got it. Welcome, everybody. we'd like to check into the magic circle of play, that space in the gameplay where the rules of daily living kind of are suspended and we have different rules. Speaking of kicking, you don't walk down the street kicking a soccer ball every day, only when you're playing a game. So the rules are a little different. And we're going to check in by first introducing ourselves with our player names, and then introducing ourselves as our characters. And each time the rest of the cast will repeat the name welcoming us. So who would like to start joining the circle?
You're muted, Tim.
Like usual, I guess I'll start. I'm Tim,
Hey,
Hi,
Tim.
Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Hey,
It's
Tim.
Tim.
and I'm playing Calvin.
Good evening.
Hi, Calvin.
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 Hey, Calvin.
I'm Tennille,
Hi,
Hey,
Tim.
Tennille.
Good
Tennille.
evening, Tennille.
and I'm playing Eliza Goldenflower.
Hi.
Hey, Eliza.
Hello,
Hey, Eliza.
Golden
Eliza.
Flower.
Hey, Sugar Plum.
I'm Scott.
Hey, Scott.
evening,
Scott.
Scott.
I would look at you across town here.
And this evening, I will be playing Roberts.
Hello, Robert.
Hey,
Some
Roberts,
mysterious
what are you
hello,
gonna
Roberts.
do today?
Quite possibly make Calvin uncomfortable.
It's not hard.
No, it's not.
I think Calvin's baseline is uncomfortable.
Agreed.
Agreed. Yes.
I'm Laura,
Hi, Laura.
Hello, Laura.
Laura.
and I'll be playing Riley tonight.
Good evening.
Riley.
Riley,
Hi,
my
Riley.
bestie.
My name is Menachem,
Hello.
Hey,
Hello,
Hello,
Menachem.
Menachem.
and I am Jelly.
Hey,
What's
Jelly.
up, Jelly?
Hey, Jelly.
Hey,
Hello.
Jelly.
Hey, Tristan.
I'm Kayla,
Hi, Kayla.
Hi,
Hey,
Kayla.
and I am playing Lexa. I almost said Iron Fish.
Hello, Iron Fish.
I like
Oh,
it.
Iron
Alexa.
Fish.
Alexa.
Jesus Christ. Oh, I hate
You are
guys.
also the Iron Fish.
That's true.
You're always manifesting that inner iron fish.
All the time.
And I am Dustin, and tonight I will be your game master.
Hello,
Hello,
Dustin.
Hello,
Dustin.
Dustin.
Game
Game
Master.
Master.
And hello, Game Master.
I guess
Hopefully
that's
we don't
actually two
die.
different things. I
Yeah.
said it all together, but
Okay, you're kind of both,
Yeah.
yes.
but yeah.
You're one and the same.
So now we have a few questions that are briefing questions to help us get into the game and reflect on maybe what happened in the past and think about what's coming up. So I have 3 questions for us tonight. And the first one, we spoke of a little cliffhanger from last time. How does your character feel about the events of last session?
It's not an easy one for Calvin.
I'll go.
Go ahead, please.
Lexa is feeling stressed, but also relieved that they're not still in the basement.
Let me add a follow-up question to that. Are you surprised by your character's actions and feelings from last time?
Absolutely not.
Everyone can
Right.
answer both those questions.
I would love to follow up, Lexa, if I may.
Go ahead.
So
How's
First
your
of all-
shoulder?
it's back in its socket, which feels wonderful. Let me just start by saying that I think the Shake Shack's rules on clothing are abhorrent, and the staff, what's the word I want? Like an iron fist.
Not an Iron Fish.
Medieval in their application of those rules. That said, I'm feeling rather frustrated, to be honest. Was told to keep Jelly safe or keep my eye on Jelly. Now he's trying to just kill himself in a whirlwind maelstrom of magic, and he's resisting my efforts. And yes, I'm quite surprised. The hell am I going in there? Already been knocked on my ass once. I'm trying to save this fool. What do I know?
Well, I guess I'll go next. For Calvin, because if I do this as Calvin, it'll take forever. For Calvin, let's see, we'll check the boxes off. Dislikes Robert, wants to know where Lexa and Riley ran off to, concerned about Eliza, concerned about Jelly or Tristan, and is super confused about Lashes and his girlfriend Eliza. Yeah.
Are you surprised by any of that?
I'm surprised a lot of it happened. So yeah, a little surprised there.
I can go. Riley doesn't know what to think about Roberts, which is somewhat surprising. She likes to give people the benefit of the doubt, but now doesn't really trust him too much. And as far as what happened, I think, Riley's nervous. What the hell just happened? And is happy to be out of the basement. Because when shit goes down, Riley gets his arm injury. So we're getting out of there.
I mean, technically it's like the basement's basement, but
Well, okay.
tomato.
It's a lower level of a building, and she is happy to be out of there. And I am not surprised about that.
I'm not surprised by how Riley responded. Right.
Yeah.
It's a good follow-up question.
I have spent 7 years in the wastelands. This is like another day that ends in Y. Except for those long strings of nothing, absolutely nothing happening for days and weeks on end. But however, this is just my new normal. And I'm not surprised by Jelly Tristan's decision to stay and handle the situation, because that's what you do in the wasteland. If you don't handle the situation in the wasteland, you are dead. So I'm not surprised at all by my character's response.
A lot of feelings. Eliza's having a lot of feelings. Terrified, absolutely. Frustrated, that's for sure. Overwhelmed. I think there's a lot of pressure, and that she created this shield to protect herself and Jelly, and so she's concentrating on trying to keep that shield in place, but she doesn't know if it's going to be enough. Feeling trapped. I think I actually remember, like, when we played that scene, like being in Eliza's space and like feeling like trapped, like my friend is doing this thing where I think he might kill himself, but like I can't leave him. I just can't. So and confused as well, because she did attempt to try to get Jelly to leave, and he lashed out at her like in a pretty aggressive way, in which she's never experienced before from him. So that was really confusing for her. And am I surprised by my character's feelings and actions? I think some of like the list of feelings are a bit of a surprise, I guess. But the actions, I don't know, in a way that it is a surprise, but in a way, I don't know, not really. I think that Eliza really is the type of person, like if she sees her friend in a place of like trouble, she's gonna do what she can to try to help them. That's pretty much been her type of motivation in these situations.
Game Master, any thoughts?
Any thoughts from me? I'm just curious to see how this is going to end. What's going to happen with the situation that we're in right now. So, I, for some reason, I don't know why, I thought everyone would just run away as shit went south, but silly me. I don't know why I didn't consider that people would stand and fight also in a very dangerous situation. So some people did, some people didn't. So we'll have to see how that plays out exactly. And I'm very excited because I've got some more stuff planned for you. It's not going to get easier, that's for sure.
Yeah, we've basically split the party.
And we split the party, so
Always split the party. That's always the solution.
Always.
I was also thinking Jelly is so focused on figuring out how to find his dad that anything that could possibly lead to furthering that, I'm going to do it. And I thought there might be some key what was going on here at this party. So I'm not surprised by that feeling.
You went to a college, the equivalent of a frat party, trying to find your dad.
I knew there was big magic happening. And there might be portal and there may have been some way they're sucking energy into a portal or something. So now thinking future from this cliffhanger, a question we ask often: what are your thoughts, questions, or concerns about the game we're about to play?
I'm having a terrible day at the end of a long fucking week. So again, I feel like my concern is just being present for the game.
Especially those cats that keep coming and diverting you. I hope the game can bring you to a different place.
Thoughts, questions, concerns about today's game. I am a little tired today. I've been going on a writing binge all week, preparing for a Kickstarter game and meeting deadlines and stuff. So I'm a bit tired, on top of doing my normal work stuff. So just not being tired would be nice while playing this.
I don't think I have like any specific like questions or concerns about today's game. I think I'm just thinking about like the whole situation of what will happen, because there is like this dynamic going on with Eliza and Calvin and Roberts, and there's definitely like some feeling like uncomfortable feelings, but like I'm leaning into it, and it's so funny in many ways, and really enjoyable. So I'm just thinking about that and how that's gonna come out and play today, because it's set up that way. So I don't really imagine how it won't come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
I think for me, like I'm actually not tired tonight, but today's been my day off, but I've had a hell of a day. And so I'm looking for not dealing with my problems and dealing with Riley's problems, some fantasy problems. That sounds really nice right now. So I am hoping for my usual transition from the stressful work week into hanging out with my friends and playing games, and then the weekend.
Indeed.
I've been thinking about the question of character and player agency that came up. last week with the everyone wanting Jelly to get out of there and Jelly wanting to stay. People trying to forcibly remove Jelly, and we're in the midst of that about to happen.
Play. Jelly, come play. Jelly, come play. Jelly, come play.
Sorry. What the fuck was that?
I was like, someone's responding to me.
That was so weird.
That was
I was just hitting buttons on
my
Twitch, and all of a
gosh.
sudden I switched.
Stop it.
Play, you can play, right? But
Oh.
I heard play, can play.
Jelly, come play.
I heard Jelly
That's
come
what I
play.
heard.
That's what
I
I
heard
fucking
I
heard.
was so confused.
Sorry, that was
Okay,
not-
so the universe is telling us that I have agency as Jelly.
Apparently.
Stop messing with me. And it also leads me to think about safety tools and how we could use those, right? In our last Wander Home game and in this game, there were a couple of things that like, I could have safety tooled that
Mhm.
to discuss it or erase something that was problematic for me. And I'm not a big, I believe 100% in safety tools. I don't use them a lot. So it makes me think about why don't I use them a lot and how could I use them? Those are kind of big meta questions I have going into today's game.
And that's a good reminder about our safety tools. We don't like, I tend to talk about the X card here, but even script change, like maybe we could have paused that and had a brief conversation about how we felt about character agency and when do we make contested roles if somebody's trying to. And Menachem, I know you and I have touched base on kind of that and that situation a little bit this past week, but yeah, I think that's complete. Let's do that, right? We all get in the heat of playing into our characters, doing things, taking actions, and we may not realize that we're taking away somebody's agency. I, as a DM, may not realize that also. So feel free to let's pause the situation and take a look at it if need be.
I generally want to role play it out, but once in
Yeah.
a while, there's definitely a use. And I've been thinking about that the last week or two.
Yeah.
I think it's good practice, right? I mean,
Yeah.
even if we have a thought, a concern about it, practicing that would be a very useful thing.
And I think safety tools are one of those things we could talk about and know that are there, but if we don't use them, are they doing their jobs also, right? Sometimes yes, right? Sometimes they're in the background, they're there, we know that we could lean on them, but the more we use them also, the more I think it's easier to use them again, because it's like, oh, okay, this is just a tool, it's like, I don't know, using a knife to cut your vegetables. If you are afraid of it and you don't use it, it's going to continue to be difficult to do, right?
I just use my fork.
That was a weirdly specific example.
I didn't mean to segue into the next thing on our structure, but Mind Veil's check-in is the next thing on our streaming structure.
Yeah. Did we get a check-in from Lexa? Did you share on?
I did not.
Okay. Yes, I wanted to get that. And then we'll come back to that.
I know.
Perfect.
I'm actually going to be very interested to see if I end up playing Lexa differently. I had weirdly got some resolution this week, so it's going to be interesting to see if I make different choices. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited to see all those things for your characters. My one concern is I'm gonna try and be a little more mindful about how I describe people to make sure I'm not accidentally describing any sort of white supremacist groups that I wasn't intending to.
I'm
in the
sorry, I
middle.
shouldn't be laughing.
I mean, feel free, and that just means we get to destroy them.
I noticed you said intending to, so that's an important piece.
As
But my vision in my head and my description of what then everybody else heard ended up being two different things. So again, that's another great, we may not have used a specific safety tool, but it was used in a way that did help catch me and break me out of that and realize what's going on. Because as we get into our play, sometimes that happens, right? So so I will, can I take that segue now, Menachem, to Lines and Veils and safety tools? All right. So just a quick check-in. The audience doesn't have this up on their screen, We have it up on our Roll20 account so that we can kind of pay attention to it as we're rolling dice and everything as far as our lines and veils. But we like to do a check-in every so often to see if anybody wants to add or change anything with these lines and veils that we have set up for our game. So our current lines, so these are our hard nose. These just don't exist in our game. Suicide, ritual sacrifice, childhood trauma, animal brutality, animal death, animal torture, all kind of coming into one category, but separate things. Sexual violence, drug overdose, and no physical touch without consent, which we've talked about a little bit, kind of becomes, and maybe that's something we need to talk about a little bit more, as we talked about that player agency and like pulling someone out. Is that physical touch without consent? And is that something that we're not comfortable with in our game also? So something to be aware of. Maybe just check in with the players as we play as well. Like, is it okay if this is what I'm thinking. Is this okay in this situation? Would you be okay with playing with this here? Because we got something like that coming up at the start of this next, where we're picking up. In our veils, so things that don't directly happen on the screen, but may exist in our world: homophobia and transphobia. Any thoughts, comments, changes to any of those? Anything we wants to add?
I think we can add racism.
Racism, sure.
To the veils. Is
to the
fine.
veils. Okay, so no blatant things in our game, but
no other hooded figures.
no other hooded.
The ones you have are okay.
Okay.
So can we add to that any anti-Semites? Just really round it out. No
Oh,
one
that's a good one.
wear mustaches other than Charlie Chaplin.
All right.
No
Yes, let's.
jackbooted swastika bearing figures.
I really don't have any intention to include any of those things, so that's great.
I mean, if we were playing Hellboy, it'd be all about the Nazis.
Mm-hmm. So yes, we can add racism to our veils as well. As I'm trying to focus on everything we're doing here, I'll add that into our Roll20. At least worst case scenario, but if somebody else wants to add it in there, feel free. By the end of the night, I could take care of that. Anything else we want to add or change?
Well, I think it should be like we should like have a conversation about the physical touch without consent. You know, and I now thinking about it as a player, I wish I would have like just checked in and see how Menachem felt about my character grabbing his arm and kind of tugging gently. And I think like in the moment I thought, oh, I mean, Eliza's perspective is you're my friend, like I can touch your arm, you know, that sort of thing. But I don't know, maybe I can't touch his arm. We don't really talk too much about like how, you know, light affection or whatever is okay or not okay, like with friends. So
well, and to take this a step further, I am anticipating Roberts needing to knock Jelly out and drag him out of there bodily. So it's probably good that we have this conversation now before I knock you the fuck out.
Oh, there's going to be a fight.
I mean, attempt.
You're like leading into it. You're like, I'm
attempted
ready.
knocking out.
That's not consensual. That's not consensual touch, sir.
it did not consent to being knocked out.
I'm okay with this in a role play aspect for mostly, you know, like you're trying to achieve a goal, but I'm not sure what it is. As a character, I have no idea other than trying to get me out of there. I have my own goals and I'm going to fight for them.
Right. But can we fight each other in the game?
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
I think that was the plan.
Yeah.
I think we were heading into a contested role, correct?
But is it okay? Is non-consensual touch extend to things that are not, because I think we meant it as sexual touch.
Like groping. And,
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying like we're both as players, we are both consenting to this.
As I'll say a thing I never say in my real life. Come at me.
When you're with your kid
Catch me
at sword
outside.
fighting, you never say "come at me."
How about that?
I would handle it other ways. I would.
That was adorable, Laura. Real gangster. Real gangster.
So yeah, I don't mind the trying to get me out of there as a role play situation, and grabbing my arm is fine, or trying to hit me.
Okay.
That consent. I consent to that kind of touch.
I thought the plan was for him to actually like pick us up and take us out.
Well, I
But
don't know.
Jelly's gonna fight that.
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, that was assuming that like that's because he doesn't know you guys are going to resist, right? Like he's going to run over and try to like grab both of you, and Jelly's going to be like, "Get off me!" And then that's going to be a whole thing. We know where this is going.
All right. Well, we
Shall we get to
Let's
it?
do it.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. So with that, let's get into tonight's game of Kids on Brooms. So to give everyone a quick recap of where we left off, so we could kind of pick up right there. We've been talking a little bit about our characters and what happened on the last session. So if you missed our last video, we started last session with Lexa, and then we found out also Roberts at a rugby game. Lexa rolled extremely well on your
I'm a
roll
rugby
to see
prodigy.
how you performed in the game. Turned out you led the team, were kind of the MVP of the match. And Roberts got stuck on the bottom of a scrum at one point and didn't do as well. At which point, I believe this is where you helped Roberts put a shoulder back in its socket where it should have been after it was hanging in a way that it shouldn't quite have been. After that, everybody decided to celebrate, getting into Wolf's Head. And
Wolf's Head.
And we went from there, and the crew met up with Eliza at the local Shake Shack, or as Calvin referred to it as the Shaky Shacky, I believe, and reganted the tales of the pulverization that Lexa had performed on the rugby match. Roberts at one point took off his dirty jersey to get told by the staff of the Shake Shack that this was unsanitary and not acceptable within their restaurant, at which point he put on a clean black t-shirt, and we learned that Roberts is quite jacked underneath his clothing. However, still being sore in the arm and having dirt on your face, your charisma was not as high as you had hoped and didn't really impress anyone by taking your shirt off in the restaurant. Then shortly after that, somebody who was waiting in line recognized Lexa from the rugby match after defeating, did I say it was Princeton? I believe, was it Yale Princeton that was playing? And bought Shake Shack for the table.
You're welcome.
And yeah, we finished up, actually finished up a scene in a restaurant that didn't last the course of 2 sessions, and moved on to the Halloween party at Manuscript next. There, we got to see a little more about Manuscript, what was going on in the midst of their annual Halloween party. On the top floor of Manuscript, we have all the anticipatory and hormone-driven and illusion of the costumes and the dancing and the drinks and the sweating happening as kind of like the music's pumping on this. And there's kind of an electricity in the air. We see Roberts have a conversation with the captain, a mysterious figure who Roberts is familiar with, but nobody else quite saw except for Riley, catching a little bit of the conversation and overhearing, "Do you have any other orders for me, sir?" or something to that effect, of Roberts asking the captain. Different members of the party, members of the group at the party decided to work their way downstairs, as there's one initial floor of manuscript, but it goes down multiple levels. The next level down was only for secret society members. As members flash their secret pin of which society they're in, they were able to gain admittance, where we saw some of these figures of manuscript in their kind of ritualistic dress, which included white hooded cloaks with golden inscriptions of runes, with a hooded cloak over the top, and they all wear different animal masks underneath. This is where I made a poor description. I hope that's a little better description of what we see. We see this kind of golden inline trim, and these different magic symbols on their white kind of traditional robes, as
with rounded hoods.
With rounded, not just
Hoods.
like think of like hoodie hoods, like just coming over the head, and then these different animal masks. We saw somebody wearing a fox mask greet different members as they came down, and many people having a good time down here as well, kind of a little more chill vibe, as Calvin comes down, meets Lashes in human form for the first time, or the first time in a long time. We're not quite sure. And the party eventually moves down to the final floor here, where there's a ritual happening where the magic is being siphoned off from this party down into a kind of circular ritual, like a number of these members of manuscript are around performing this ritual and kind of replenishing the well. At this point, things kind of start going awry as a couple members of the party go down there, and the magic starts flying off in different directions. Robert is shoved back, and Eliza comes down, throws up a protective magic barrier to protect Jelly, who decides to stay and figure out what the heck is going on here. Lexa and Riley, along with Lashes, leave. Calvin starts to leave and tells Lashes that they'll meet them tomorrow, or meet up with them the following day, and decides to run back down. At that point, Roberts gets up from being knocked down from this blast of magic that hit them, and starts running towards Eliza and Jelly, where it seems like he's about to do something, and we're not sure what. And that's where we're going to pick up. So I think we'll start with what's going on there, as Calvin is starting to come back down, kind of doing some parkour stuff down the stairs, avoiding blasts of magics with a very good dexterous roll there. So who would like to pick up the action there? I think Roberts, we're going to start with you, as we were just kind of talking about how this may go. You have Eliza concentrating with her wand up. There's this kind of protective dome barrier between Jelly and the ritualistic space that's there, protecting from magic blasting through and hitting anyone here. Jelly and Eliza are behind this. Professor Zell, who is talking to you, telling you shouldn't be here, has moved away from this situation kind of at the base of the stairs and almost left you to your own devices, and is kind of shouting things to other members. You see members of manuscript in their robes have been knocked back. Some are really fighting to control this. They're fighting a losing battle. They are not getting a handle on this magic that's gone array, and Professor Zell is doing the best that they can to try and help, figure out this magic, and things are really going haywire. So what are you doing, Roberts?
Is it loud?
That's a good
Would I need to
question.
shout to be able to be heard?
Yeah, I mean, there's different shouting going on with the different members. They're chanting different chants to try. They're getting louder with their chants, like trying to put more energy and force into it. This is something that they do every year. So this is something that's practiced, that's rehearsed, that happens all the time, and maybe almost taken for granted as things go crazy here. They're like, oh, we've got to get this under control, right? So things, and there's these crashes and cracks and almost crackles in the air as like these kind of different bolts of energy, magical energy, basically, are flying. You'll hear a slam as it blasts into the wall. Sometimes it just like makes no noise as it just seemingly passes through a wall. You think you're not sure what's going on exactly here, being new to Yale and being new to this bigger type of magic than perhaps many of you have seen. But it is there's a lot of different noises and sounds going on. So yeah, you may need to shout a bit to be heard.
So I'm rushing towards Jelly, who if I remember, were you prone, or you were like crouched down scribbling something? You were scribbling.
I had been crouched down.
Right.
I may have stood up when Eliza came to drag me away.
Yeah. And so I'm rushing towards Jelly, and I'm shouting to Eliza. So I can add in more of my character. Eliza, defend a starboard. I'll grab Jelly and work towards the door. What? No?
That's funny. Go with it.
Go with it, yeah.
And I like rush down and I grab Jelly by the arm, and I'm like, come on, it's too dangerous to stay here. Let's go. Sorry, I'm trying to look at him. I don't know if I'm actually yelling.
Well, I will look at you for half a second, glaring, and then try and jerk away and run towards Professor Zell,
who's towards the door.
No, he's moved more over by the magic circle ritual place. He's taken the place of somebody who's gotten knocked out, trying to contain this magic now.
Yeah. So when I see you like running like deeper in, I
already imagine we're pretty deep in. I think we went halfway around the room.
Yeah, I'm picturing it that there's a stairwell kind of like on the edge of the room coming down, and y'all had started moving over towards it. But I imagine you are keeping your distance back, kind of observing the ritual a little bit when Professor Zell came over and told you that you shouldn't be here. So
I'd imagine I had gone across, and I got down there first.
Okay.
And I was watching it from a place away from the group, so I would hopefully get ignored.
Okay. Gotcha. So yeah,
Eliza came over to me.
Yes, to try and help then at that point. So that makes sense.
And I look at Eliza like confused. What is he doing?
Do you keep holding on, or you let me go?
I think this time you pull away and I let you go.
All right. I'm going to run over to Professor Zell. Professor Zell, TJT Gallant, we met at the summer symposium. If we put a portal here, in here, and a portal out here, we might be able to save some of the energy.
He's like concentrating. What do you want? Like,
we met at the summer symposium. Portal in here, portal out there. We might be able to contain some of this.
If you want to help,
yeah,
get over there. And he points to an empty spot in the ritual circle.
I'll jump in.
Okay. Sure.
We avoided that fight, huh?
I mean, see, that's not what I expected.
Well, I gave you a chance to let me go, and you let go.
Yeah. Well, because I don't know what you're doing.
At this point, Eliza, make a magic grit roll for me. As magic's flying around still, you're behind this protective barrier, and a couple of bolts of this magic have now hit your protective barrier. We're going to see if you can hold on to concentrating on this or not. I think last time I used an 8 as what you needed to get. So we're going to start at an 8. It's going to progressively get more difficult as more magic, it's getting, it's getting a little hot in here. What did you, I don't have my Roll20 open at the minute. I'm gonna switch over it, but tell me what
I
you
got
got.
a 6.
A 6.
Ooh,
Okay,
I do have tokens though.
You said you forgot to award adversity tokens at the end of last session.
I did. And what I'm going to do actually is I want to kind of finish this scene here, and then we'll check in kind of like the end of the day and different things. And then we'll go from there. Yeah. Thanks for that reminder though.
So I only have 1 token. So that would only put it.
I can give you a token.
What are you doing to help that you would be giving an adversity token?
I'm glad you asked. So when I see that Jelly is not, it has like inserted himself into thing, like I look desperately at Eliza and I can see like your shield is all that's protecting us. And so
start to see some flickering at the edge of it as you see the magic.
Hold on, let me just put my tongue in my cheek. I whip out my wand and begin chanting in, I don't know, some kind of like native African tongue, I would imagine, as I pull up like some kind of warding spell that we would have used on the ship to like shelter it from storms.
Okay. Yeah, so both of you mark off an adversity token then that you've each spent 1 adversity token to make that into a success. So the shield magic holds up for now. Kelvin, you are running back down the stairs. You have reached the base of the stairs. You see your friend, as you know them as only Tristan, join this circle, trying to help and joining in the chants, picking up what they're saying, and reciting the chants, trying to control the magic. And then you see Roberts helping protect Eliza as you see the magic start to struggle, but he does something to actually help protect her. What are you doing?
I think Calvin is running into the room, runs past Eliza and just gives Robert a look.
You're a raccoon now, right?
Yeah.
Like are you full were raccoon now?
100%.
And it's a Halloween party, right?
Yeah.
So they think he's just costume.
Yeah.
But it's not.
What's going on with the portal currently? Like, what am I seeing there?
So you're seeing magic kind of almost in the air coming down, and it was being channeled, but you're seeing it just go off in different directions. Like it comes down and it splits out. Like it's these shapes that kind of come down and make like L shapes and are bolting off. Some of it's almost like breaking and then finding its own direction. Some of it is coming down into the portal, but it's more and more of it has been breaking off. It's been getting worse, not better. And as people get knocked out of this circle, it's gotten worse.
How many people are in the circle?
Good question. Let's see. We're gonna roll a die to see how many people got knocked out of this so far. I'm gonna say that there was 8 total in it. 5 of them have gotten knocked out. And now Professor Zell and Jelly have taken, so there's like 3 open spots still.
So
that haven't been filled.
As I understand it, this is where magic comes from in this location, right?
What you know from your history of magic class, that we had discussed about previously on Kids on Broom and Yalecapades, that this has to do with replenishing the wellspring underneath New Haven and Yale, that allows for this big magic to happen here.
So for Calvin, there's two big problems here. One, this could be dangerous for Eliza. And two, this could be dangerous because I won't have magic anymore. And I run into that circle.
Into the circle, or do you take
I
one of those
take a
spots?
place of someone
Okay.
that has like dropped out.
Okay. Let me see here. I'm trying to think. You know what? We'll do brains for this. Both Jelly and Calvin, give me a brains roll to see how well you are able to pick up and mimic the chants and the patterns. As this is not like a normal speech pattern, but
Is this a stat or a magic roll?
This is gonna be stat because you're kind of trying to. I guess it's magic also because it's we'll say magic.
Okay.
It makes sense that it's a magic roll.
Well,
You
what's
put the
the
left foot in, you take the...
I don't have a DC on this necessarily.
Okay.
I'm just curious to see what people get to see how effective you're going to be in those roles.
And am I rolling the D4?
You're not casting a spell, so I'm going to say no on this per se. So
I got a 14.
I see. Yeah, you've got a 14 for Jelly and then a 4 for Calvin. Calvin, you're struggling a little bit. You're looking over and you're like, what did he say? And then you're listening to somebody else, but you're missing the rhythm.
I'm going to glare over at Eliza and Roberts and do the head jerk motion. Like, get over here. You want to help?
At this point, we see a figure start coming down the stairs, dressed in a fuzzy black coat with a white shirt, kind of loose and plumey underneath, black pants, jet black hair, annoyingly perfect stubble, and much like perhaps I'm dressed today, start to walk down the stairs with a necklace that they're wearing as well, that we noted last time. This necklace is a gold and ruby pendant necklace hanging from their neck, that anybody who saw it last time, so this would be, well, Riley's not there, but Roberts, there's kind of more of a glow to this necklace than last time. And he starts walking down the stairs, and anybody kind of got an eye towards the stairs, do you think, would see this person enter? I don't know if anybody on the circle might be facing that way towards the stairs. What do you think?
So Eliza's back is towards the stairs because she's got that barrier, that dome over there, like against where the wellspring is. So my thought is, like, when Roberts comes over and he helps her with the shield, and he's like, what's going on? And so she tries to explain, like, he's not gonna leave. I think he wants to help. And then she happens to see Calvin come by and go, and she's like, we should like move over there. And she because it's not like super easy to move something like this. So like she's taking her time, just like sidestepping to like get closer to where they are while keeping the protective dome up.
So
Assuming I have to move with you because I'm helping you keep the...
Yeah, we kind of have to move together. It's like a, what do you call it? Like the 3-legged race thing.
I'm like, I think my response is, this is madness. They'll get themselves killed.
I almost imagine there's like a heave ho, heave ho, heave ho, as the two of you are moving closer.
Yeah, and Eliza's like, we can't leave them here.
We've got to get them out.
They're my friends.
So let's take them with us.
We have to keep them safe.
Yes, it's not safe here, is it?
Well, it looks like they're trying to figure this out. So, like,
Really?
Let-
A
let's
bunch
help-
of first years who've never used magic before are going to figure this out with no training. Yes, that seems very likely.
Well, it's magic. That's the great thing about magic, right?
Dustin, there
I
are
don't
8
know what
positions.
kind of magic you've studied, lass.
There's eight positions in the circle. Let's say the stairs are in position 1. I'm going to roll a side of die to see which position I'm in.
I'm just for our story's sake, I'm gonna say that Jelly, you see this person coming down with your brains roll of 14. I'm gonna stick with that. You see this person come down and kind of catch a little more of what's going on. Calvin, you're trying to follow along, like you're like kind of looking over at other people in the circle. You're trying to catch up on the chant. You feel like you're off on it. So you don't quite see this happening here. This person coming down, and the other two of you have your backs to it. So Jelly, you catch this person walking in. You catch that kind of glimmer on their neck, like on their neck of this ruby and gold studded necklace, and you see like a bolt of magic come right towards this person, and it hits that necklace, and it just seems to get absorbed in and seems to glow and then dim again for a minute as you see this come in. Before we go too far with that, Lexa and Riley, what are the two of you up to as you've gone upstairs? I don't want to leave you out of this whole thing here.
I don't think Lexa's inside manuscript anymore.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Riley would have just kept running. Like,
I think we said you guys met on the stairs or something, or on the way out, you kind of
right.
bumped
right.
into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
our
on the
and our
stairs, but
yeah.
I think we
And-
left the build. I think Lexa certainly left and was like, "This is manuscript's fucking weird. I'm out of here. This is I don't know."
And
what's
Riley's
going
like, I'm glad I didn't pick this one.
on. Because Lexa almost got hit with the magic, so
Mhm.
Lexa was like, "Fuck
Yeah.
this."
So as you went upstairs, you saw like things were chaotic, and especially as you got to like the top floor, where like the actual party, like the music stopped. Well, yeah, the music stopped at this point, and people are like kind of trying to figure out what's going on as there's like crashing noises, and it seems like some of the magic is even leaking up here and slamming into things, and there's kind of a chaos, and people just run out. Like it's just a mess up here, people have left as quickly as possible. And you even would have seen as you're up here perhaps like a stray bolt of magic still coming up this far and out, and like almost out the roof of manuscript, and just like nope, just getting out of here.
Nope.
Just
Yeah.
nope. Okay. If there's anything that the two of you want to do or let me know. I do want to try and working on resolving what's happening here down in the
downstairs,
basement.
yeah.
I just don't want to leave the two of you out of what's happening in this storyline as well. So yeah. So Jelly, you see this figure coming down, and almost like some magnet, like a magnet, some of the energy and the magic is kind of drawn to them, and almost like they're absorbing it within that necklace.
All right, there's something unclear about this person's motives. They seem to have some connection to this thing that's happening. I want to cast a spell.
You want to cast a spell? Okay.
I want to.
This is going to break your concentration on the ritual, which you're helping with, because you're going to be stopping that to do something else, basically.
I know. But I have an intuition this person is not here to help us. They just absorb the magic.
That's just bias.
Robert's sword also absorbed the magic, though.
I didn't see that.
The rapier.
Yeah, I did not notice that.
And as you're standing there, actually, You see that happen to this person. You also, like a bolt of magic flies towards you. Where do you keep your items and different things? Like you keep everything on you.
I have that leather bag that's, you know, a crossbody satchel,
Sure.
messenger style bag hanging by my side.
Okay. There's like
What's in
a
there?
bolt of energy that comes flying right at you, and you brace yourself for a moment, seeing it hit other people and knock them back, and it diverts around you and right to your bag and goes into that and seems to dissipate from there. And you feel this kind of swell of energy as it hits your bag.
Okay, that changes my suspicions. I also have my staff because I'm paranoid and never leave anywhere. I always expect things to go terribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Then I'm not going to cast a spell.
Okay. Thanks
Might
for
be-
like, I just remembered that also as well, that
I'm
was-
not catching on to these, like this ritual. Like I don't understand the language as well, especially because of the stress. I yell over to Jelly. Christian, what are the walls saying? Talk to something. Find out what this is.
If I do that, I'll break my concentration. I look good idea, but I can't do anything about it.
It's at this point that this figure over by the stairs now hits the bottom of the stairs. A little bit of a moves a little bit further away from where you all are, and you see them reach into their bag and take out this statue. It is a golden statue of a peregrine falcon inlaid with platinum and set with emeralds for eyes, and sets it down on the ground right next to them. And Jelly, you notice as they start preparing some additional magic, as they do that, start to happen. And you know this as portal magic that you've been studying, but not been completely successful with yet up to this point. And as they set that falcon down, the emerald eyes of this golden peregrine falcon statue glow as all the magic that's becoming strayed seems to suddenly just bolt right for it and start becoming absorbed into this falcon. And the emerald eyes glow brighter and brighter.
Screw it. I'm breaking concentration. I'm throwing a portal up in front of it. I'm going to try and open a portal in front of it and back into the wellspring.
To divert the magic back into the
wellspring. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. This is gonna be a little difficult.
I know.
This is bigger magic now. Let me consult my table here to see what we're gonna do. I was looking at your character. It looks like you respect after we talked a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of your stats.
I haven't been putting energy into fighting skills since I got back.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I just noticed that when we started our game tonight, looking at your character sheet. So
to be clear, Dustin said I could and should do that.
Yeah, based on what Jelly's been studying since
Makes sense.
Since the summer and everything, basically, and since getting to school. So
I was thinking that portal magic is probably brains. So
I've been going with that also.
Yeah.
So
plus I'm smart. Tristan's smart.
So whether it's reality bending or reality breaking is one that always gets me. I'm going to say that portal magic is reality breaking. This is like, you're basically piercing between worlds. But I'm going to say this is reality bending because you're not trying to travel. I would say if you're going to a different plane of existence, as we may at some point, as you have before, Jelly, that is reality breaking. You're trying to open a portal to like move it from one side of the room back basically. So you're staying within the same plane of existence. So I'm going to say it's reality bending. Does that sound fair? Okay. This is bigger than a person, smaller than a classroom. I guess, because you're trying to catch all that energy, right?
Much as I can, yeah.
So that's 10. And I'm guessing a few minutes on this, you're saying, to last?
Yeah, it's not going to have to go very long. I think
So it's just long enough to try and divert from what this person's doing. So a few minutes. And I'm going to say you've been working on it on portals, but you have by no means mastered it or even maybe cast all that many yet. I think the portal that you traveled through to get back from the wastelands was not of your own creation.
No, there's the one Eliza and I accidentally opened in the library.
Right. Okay. And so
that
I'll say
one was very, very brief.
Yeah. So I'm going to say you've witnessed, but haven't quite you've studied it, right? But you haven't really even cast it a couple of times successfully. One was by accident, right? So that will make it 14 if I'm adding correctly on this for your DC. So roll your brains dice on magic and add a D4 for your magic die as well.
All right. I don't have any bonuses or penalties. Well, is it automatically adds in the +1 magic roll? Or do I have to add that in the input value?
No, if you select magic, it adds it in.
Yeah, I think if you click on brains and then select magic for the roll, it automatically adds it.
Well, I don't think even with the.
So that's a 7 so far. So roll at D4.
Even if that is not gonna add an 8.
An 8 total. So yeah, that's not gonna quite get there. So you do your best to try and open a portal, and you stop concentrating on helping with this ritual as the magic's already now moving away from this. When you see this person kind of doing, like you see all of a sudden all the magic gets siphoned off, you attempt to open a portal. He looks up and catches you doing this and looks at you and kind of gives you a wink a little bit and a smile, as if he half expected this from you. Whether he did something to counter your portal or not, you're not quite sure.
I see.
And everybody else, probably anybody who looks at what's happening, all of a sudden will see this figure. And Roberts, you will know this as the captain. Obviously,
I see Tristan stop the ritual, and I know something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing them him trying to cast a spell. When I look over and I see what's happening, wherever what you say the statue is siphoning the power.
It seems like most all of it now is heading straight for this statue, as that whatever is going on there has almost become like a magnet for this energy.
I'm going to start running towards it while I'm casting a spell to try and put almost like a force field around it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Jelly, you also, like, for a moment, you just hear almost in the back of your head as you feel this warmness on your back, as like most of the energy is all going that way. All of a sudden, like another bit of energy diverts towards you. Like you're watching all this happen and you see this bolt of energy from the magic come off towards you and hit that bag again. And you feel this warmness. And there's almost this familiarity to it. And you just hear your father's voice for a moment in the back of your head.
I'm going to reach it. I mean, other people need to go, but I'm going to reach into that bag and see what's going on. Look in the bag.
And as you, so as you do that, you reach your hand in, you feel around, and you feel this warmness coming from one thing. You pull out the Dragon Blood's tear, which is glowing bright with magic now as well. And as you grab it, you hear your father's voice in the back of your head. Go, go.
And
Where to go?
And it's at this point that a portal opens that the captain has been starting. What are you trying to do? I'll give Calvin one chance here to see if you could do anything to disrupt it as the portal opens and he goes down to
I'm
grab
trying
this.
to disrupt the siphoning from happening, like going into this idol, by trying to cast a force field around it.
Okay.
Like almost like a protective barrier so nothing could come in or out.
Okay. Trying to decide what kind of magic this might be, and I would be open to interpretation. I would say almost that this would be either brawn or grit.
One of them says protecting.
Grit.
Which one says protecting?
Well, grit says keep someone safe.
Okay, so let's go with grit.
Brawn says protected, so it could be either one, really.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of going with either of those. I'll let you convince me of which those two are.
I would go with grit because I'm seeing it as protective magic in a way. You know what I mean?
Okay. So give me a grit roll to create this kind of force field protective barrier.
Oof.
Oh,
It's not Calvin's night.
you roll a d4.
Yeah.
So that's a 1 plus your 2 that you have to that stat, for a total of 3, for 5.
And then 2 more, so 5 total.
So 5 total. That's not going to be enough.
No.
This person's moving fast, came in here with a plan. And again, you almost feel like this magic's being resisted. Like you're trying to cast this and you're just not a strong enough caster to overcome whatever this person came in here to do. And it's at this point that the portal snaps open as you grab the dragon's blood tear jelly and you hear your father's voice. Go.
Calvin is my dad. And I'd run and jump through the portal.
So the captain snaps up this golden peregrine falcon statue, walks through the portal, and you bolt through, Jelly, as the portal then quickly snaps shut.
I dive
behind.
after.
You dive after. You're not quick enough, quite.
I don't get to roll.
So actually, who failed rolls? I forgot to make sure people mark adversity tokens. So Calvin, you failed 2 rolls.
I failed 2 rolls.
With the ritual brains roll also. So mark 2 adversity tokens.
Got it.
Let me see. Jelly, you failed a roll, so mark an adversity token.
I used tokens to.
You use tokens,
roll,
so that's considered a success. Yeah,
that's a success. Yeah.
Yeah, if you use the adversity tokens to move a failure to a success, you don't then gain additional. It's considered a success.
I failed rolls last game,
and I think we already marked those. So I just wanted to make sure we caught up on the failed rolls just now. As this portal snaps shut, the room goes quiet as the energy has stopped. Whether all of it's been siphoned off, everybody left the party, and there's no more magic to go astray here. Y'all down here in the basement aren't quite sure why. You may have a hypothesis that it's directly related to this person that came in and then left, but it's now gone quiet.
Did I know anything about the captain's plans?
No, I don't think you did.
Okay. Is there still...
You were told earlier that your job was to watch them, right? And I think you asked a little bit, well, what's the plan? Like, or whatever. I didn't know you were going to be here. Yeah. And he was like, well, I've compartmentalized things. You do what you're supposed to do. And then you were like, any more orders, sir? You know?
And he was like, no.
No, I told you what to do already.
Is there a wellspring of magic here anymore?
We'll come. You don't know what's going on exactly, so we'll come back to that. Let's pick up with the other side of this portal with the captain and Jelly. As you come running through and the portal snaps shut behind you, Jelly, you find yourself in this circular room that's oddly empty, with simply a circle drawn with patterns and runes on it. And you're not sure, and you can't see any entrance or exit from this. It's just a circular walled room with this patterned circle on the bottom.
Was the guy ahead of me or behind me?
So he's gone through the portal ahead of you, right? And he's standing there almost as if waiting for you to come through behind him. And as you pop through, he just kind of smiles and says, Jelly, I'd hoped you'd follow me through. It's nice to finally meet you.
I would say the same, but I don't know if that's true.
Most people call me the captain.
Okay.
Read your work. Impressive. He kind of tucks this Peregrine statue back into his kind of bag.
I do put the stone back in my bag.
Yeah.
Or my hand with the stone in it back in the bag. Where am I? And yeah, that's a good start.
Where are you, you say?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you were asking me as a DM or you were asking the captain.
Where am I? Yeah, and that's a good start.
Place I'm not too fond of, if I'm honest, but thought I'd show you anyway, if you were bold enough to follow.
Obviously, you know what I'm all about, so yeah. Remember, Jelly's a little socially awkward.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know what I'm about.
They haven't told you everything.
You haven't told me anything.
No, not me. You're right. I haven't told you anything. But he kind of points, gestures around. Faculty, professors, keepers of the lore, whatever they like to call themselves. They're hungry. They're pretentious. They're entitled. They think magic is theirs to keep and theirs alone.
Uh-huh.
When it can help so many people, really. Sorry, you asked where we are. This room is used to remove the memories of magic from those that they feel don't fit, if you will.
Control.
Right? If you don't remember magic, then you won't create a problem for them. Should you disagree? I worry your studies. If you don't conform, they'll try and take it from you as well, as they did to me.
So you want to help me is what you're saying?
Not really.
Okay.
I take care of myself these days. And a few others that are able to follow orders. You don't strike me as that type.
So you're smart.
I've been around for a while. They took my memories. They didn't count on me regaining those memories. And so I'm here to take a little from them.
You took a lot.
Maybe they'll be a little wiser in the ways that they use their magic if they don't have their stores and reservoirs to draw on anymore. But
This is
yes.
the part people who usually do that end up using the power in not the best ways.
I'd be happy to have you join me, like I said, if you were able to follow orders, but honestly, I'd rather you follow your own path. You've lost someone. You've got all the tools you need to find them. But good luck. I really don't have a lot of time. I'm sure they're going to be looking for me. They don't even know that I'm here. They probably don't even know who I am. They're so wrapped up in their elitist bullshit, if you will. But good luck with that. By the way, no magic works in here, but you'll figure it out. And you see him pull out the Peregrine statue again, and almost just just kind of like turns into himself and like portals himself out and is gone. And you find yourself alone in this room.
I was going to reach out to staff and try and absorb something, but I didn't. Too late. Okay.
So let's jump back to the basement of manuscript, where it's gone quiet now. Professor Zell is looking around. Those of you who are still there, Roberts, you dive for the portal as it closes, and you're like, ooh, trying to figure out what's going on as you saw Jelly run through, and you were just told to like keep an eye on, keep them safe. Yeah, Calvin, you see this, and then the other students are kind of like looking around, bewildered, almost as if like the faculty of this has put children or young adults in charge of magic without expecting there to be repercussions or consequences for it. And Professor Zell is like kind of like not happy right now with what's transpired.
Eliza, are you okay?
She dismisses kind of what's left of the shield. I imagine most of it's kind of slowly disintegrating anyway, since Roberts kind of moved off, and she like looks at Roberts, and like she happened to see Jelly go into the portal, but she looks at Calvin and she's like, he's gone. I don't know. Where did he go? Do you know where he went?
He'll be back. He's been studying a lot. I think he will figure it out. I hope.
I hope he will.
I think we should get out of here.
I was able to open up a portal for like a very, very brief second one time with Jelly in the library.
I kind of dust myself up and like pick myself up and dust off the whatever the dirt from the ground. Say, they're going for the moment, but we should search them out quickly. I'm sure they're not safe.
Should we try to do a portal?
At this point, Professor Zell comes over to you. What the fuck is going on here? What are you kids doing here? And who the hell was that?
I 100% deck him.
Sure. I didn't make stats for the professor. So this is going to be a contested roll because this is a fight. Remember, fights can always go bad. Fights with faculty could go even worse. So I'm just warning you before you make this choice for your character.
I thought I already made that choice.
That's fine.
Lexa tried to do that once and was told, if you hit a professor, you can, yeah. So have fun.
Have fun with that, yeah.
I think
as we just heard about how they remove magic from people who don't follow their rules.
I don't know that.
Yeah, you do if you paid attention in class.
I think he was on his phone. I think he was on his phone a lot during that lecture.
Fight is my highest stat. Come on.
Yeah. I'm trying to find just one of the pre-made.
Okay, well, it'll be
there's
interesting if you end up
a
losing your
teacher.
magic.
Or with a broken arm.
Listen, I said what I said. I'm standing by my role-playing choice.
All right. In character actions have in character consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Roberts has fulfilled his plot line. This was not, by the way, I don't know anything about this, just so we're clear. Like, I just feel like Roberts has now fulfilled his purpose.
Well, sure. So you're going to just straight up punch him?
Yeah.
Make a fight roll for me.
I'm gonna quote Harry's Dresden. They never expect you to just, everyone's always expecting the magical solution. No one ever expects you to just deck a guy. I'm not quoting him exactly. All right, fight, bonus, stat. I don't know what I rolled. Please be back.
It's a 16.
16.
Whoa!
It's a 16.
That seems good. That seems really good.
You might murder a teacher
Oh no!
with that roll.
That's not cool.
Don't you want to just knock him out? I don't think.
Yeah, I was just
kill him.
I mean,
There's no called shots on kids on brooms or kids on bikes, by the way. There is a fight
You
table.
split the difference.
You split the difference of what the two roll. I'm going to tell you, he's going to roll a D20 flight stat to try and duck out of the way of your punch as he sees it coming. And we'll see what happens here. That's a 7.
You might have killed the teacher.
I'm gonna give him a +1 bonus to that because I'm feeling generous. I don't know what I don't have an actual stat table. I forget what adults get. If anybody wants to check in the roll book real quick, like what the base that adults get to different checks
and
for me.
Pull my punch a bit so I make sure I don't kill him.
Sure, I'll allow that.
I'm just trying to knock the guy out.
Try and knock the guy out. Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm not even going to consult the table to see exactly where it falls because I don't want to kill a professor right now.
Murder punch.
But you deck him.
Not only do murder hobo going around
5-finger death punch.
Not only do you deck him, you also break his nose and knock him concuss and knock him out as well. You don't know. You see blood trickling from his nose as you deck him, and you're like, seems about right. I've been in some scraps on a ship before. And he goes, there's 2 hits, you hitting his face and him hitting the floor. At that
and I just
point.
kind of turn to Calvin and Eliza and say, let's go.
Eliza jumps, she notices.
Calvin just shakes his head
when she sees the
I
professor.
get expelled for this.
I'm already stalking out of the room, trying to conjure up some magic to find Jelly and the captain.
I'm gonna grab Eliza's hand and start walking. I don't know if Eliza comes with me, but
Eliza's gonna just look at the professor just to make sure that he's breathing. And she
He's
is
breathing.
Okay, good. She's absolutely terrified of harming a teacher ever, but
this goes
really
against
weird.
everything that you've ever stood for in your life.
Come on, Ron. Come on, Hermione.
As
we
the
have to go
teacher's pet.
save Hogwarts.
Yeah, she will walk with Calvin though. But
Calvin's
she's trembling.
Calvin's gonna stop for a second and pull out something from his bag.
I'm gonna say the one plus side is you all are in Halloween costumes at least.
I'm gonna pull out.
I'm a sexy Velma, so
That's redundant.
oh, that is
I'm gonna
sweet.
pull out a little vial of something that I have concocted already. I'm gonna pop it open and I'm gonna wave it in the nose of the professor, and I'm gonna try to do a spell
Oh god.
that will help him forget the last few minutes. Just enough time
You gonna do
That-
some memory modification here?
Clearly,
my
you don't understand how a
goodness.
concussion works.
Calvin. Oh,
He's
my
not going to remember it
God.
anyway.
That's also possibly true.
Kind of messes with your ability to retain short-term information.
So remind me, you're like skilled in potions or something. So
Yes.
if you have a what is your potion thing do? Like if you have the materials in a prepared potion, like you can just do it or something. Remind me.
As long
You succeed at rolls and less difficult for your skilled in for
succeed at
potion
most
making.
rolls and less difficult.
For potion making. So I'm not even gonna make you roll for it. For some reason, next time I might be a little skeptical of this, or you're gonna have to restock those potions.
Mhm, mhm.
I'm not gonna just give you a potion randomly for the perfect potion for the perfect situation. I'll
Oh
give it
yeah,
to you.
yeah.
I'll give it to you for this. Just because going with the concussion also, you don't know if it's the potion working or it's going to be the concussion, but I will give you that you kind of, so you're just like waving it. Are you like forcing it? I don't know. We're
it's like
not going to
scented.
force, we're not going to like do touch. We're going to X
Just
that out.
scented, yeah.
So just the scent, you're going to kind of waft it as they're there. And yeah, it as far as you know, it should work. That somebody, this raises questions why you have this potion on you, prepared and ready also, but that's a question we're going to have to answer. Maybe you're going to have a conversation with Lexa about that at a different time.
I saw like, I see your eyes, Daniil, going like, the hell?
Or maybe Eliza and you're going to have to talk about this later also. Because yeah, it brings in some questions around consent on having that potion, I think. But yeah, you, as far as you know, it should work that he will forget the last 5 minutes of what happened. Again, whether it's the concussion or that that is done and that potion has been used. So
Okay.
Let's jump back to Jelly alone in this room.
Okay. Study the pattern on the floor.
Sure. I mean, he pretty much told you you could spend a little bit of time here taking down notes. But this is just in the sake of brevity a little bit, maybe you try and do a couple of things magic wise.
He said magic doesn't work.
Oh, he did say I couldn't remember what I said.
It says
So, yes,
everything.
Matt.
He says everything I need is here, or I have everything I need,
Mhm.
and magic doesn't work. So there's got to be a secret door or a pattern in the stuff that will open something.
Mhm.
Anyway, so I'll work on that while we see what's up with the rest of the party.
Sure. Make a brains roll for me here. This is just mainly going to see how long it takes you to figure out what you're going to need to do to get out of here. Just again, for the sake of brevity and time.
Yeah, just a 5.
A 5. All right. I'm going to say with this 5, you get stuck here for an hour or two as you're trying to study different things. You try and cast some magic. It doesn't work.
No, he already told me it doesn't work.
Right. But
I have to test it.
You have to test it to make sure for yourself. And you try a number of different things. And then at a certain point, you remember him grabbing his statue and it kind of glowing for a moment as he like portaled himself out in some way. You consult your notes that you were been taking. You consult, you take more notes on this kind of circle in the room, the runes around that you were taking notes on in manuscript, your own theoretical stuff. And at a certain point, you realize that the magic you need that you have with you is in that Dragon Blood's tier.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
You kind of forget about it for a period as you're so enveloped in what's in the room in front of you, forgetting what you have with you and your own notes that you've taken. So at a certain point, you do find a way to actually portal yourself out. It takes some time, but I'm going to say it takes like 2 hours that you're kind of stuck in here by yourself before you do. And yeah, I want to jump over at this point to what's going on with Lexa and Riley and where we're going to kind of end all of this, or where we can have people meet back up perhaps, or touch base, or where. And I'm going to kind of leave that up to what maybe Lexa and Riley are doing after all this, because we've had a lot happen here now. And perhaps Lashes. Did Lashes come with you?
I don't know. Do I know? Does Lexa know Lashes?
So
there's a good question.
Who was with Calvin? Who was with you as you went down? Was
Eliza was.
And Roberts. Okay. So you may not. So as you leave the party, you realize that there's somebody following you. I'll say that then.
Okay.
It's like,
Well, I was just curious because
as you're walking through the city, where would you be going, or what would you be doing?
So my question, Tim, you're muted. My question was to Calvin about how long Lashes has been a raccoon, because Calvin and Lexa have been best friends since.
Yeah.
I think Lexa would know Lashes.
Okay.
Great. At least in human form.
So I'd recognize them.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
And so wouldn't she also know like that you were in love with her?
There's probably something sus there. Yeah, I'm sure Lexa probably knows.
So where would the two of you be going, or would you be going back to the dorms? You're kind of on the outskirts of the campus here, basically where Manuscript is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, where would you be going, or what would you be doing? This would be a great time to consult our map. Have we been using it more regularly, I suppose? Kayla, if you wanted to throw that up there. And
which map? Which one? 1 or 2?
That's a good question.
Oh,
which one? Let me see where Manuscript. You see Manuscript on there?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, I see where we are. I don't know. How far are we going, Riley? Did we go all the way out, or are we heading back to the dorms?
I don't know. It's a late night. I'm pretty sure Riley's probably texting Eliza, who hasn't been able to use her phone this whole time. Like, what the hell is happening? Are you guys still down there? Mm-hmm. So maybe we're still heading back. We were planning on heading to the dorms or something.
Yeah, that works for me. Okay, so maybe I mean, Lexa's like just kind of ran because she's like, fuck this, I'm not getting hit by magic. That sounds like a fucking painful experience.
Okay. And yeah, the dorms would probably be far enough away to be like, look. Riley's like, look, we're far from that shit. And I don't want to get on. What is it with us and magic and weird shit happening at school? Why? Why us?
I don't know. Great question. I don't know what Jelly was doing. That was suspicious. I don't know what any of that was.
You know more about this stuff than I do.
Okay, that's true. I don't know what they were doing though. That was like they were gathering magic or something, and then they lost control of it. Seems mighty unprofessional.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't get hurt, and I hope they're all okay back there.
I mean, that's only because you pushed me, or what? I don't know. What did you do? I think you yelled at me.
Yelled at you.
You saved me. Could have ended up like, I don't know. I don't know what happened to Roberts because he got slapped with it.
Well, I don't really care what happens to Roberts.
That's fair. That's fair.
He's kind of suspicious.
Did something happen?
And at this point, Riley's taken off the mask. I guess Halloween costumes are good things. I heard him talking to someone, and it sounds like he's like answering to someone, taking orders from someone. He said the word orders.
Like he has a boss?
Yeah.
He does.
That was at the party.
He does seem kind of old for a freshman.
You have a point. What's he doing hanging around with a bunch of 18-year-olds?
Well, I think he likes Eliza. So there's that.
There
or
is
doesn't
that.
like Calvin. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. This is weird.
Super weird. Lexa is going to text Calvin. And is going to say, "Where the fuck are you?"
Calvin,
a little bit of time passes and you check your phone and there's like a number of text messages from Lexa, like, you know, where the fuck are you? Are you okay? What's happening? Meet us here. Like, dude, I'm getting worried. Yeah, I don't want to assume for you, but
Eliza's getting the same kind of thing from Riley.
Sure. Yeah. Because you guys took off pretty, like, more happened. They were trying to figure out what's going on afterwards. By the time that you got out, I'm gonna say that also like an hour, at least a half hour to an hour is maybe passed before you actually leave manuscript. And as you leave, like, I'm also going to say that as you're in like the second or third floor down into manuscript, you're not getting text messages. It's when you leave manuscript that all of a sudden all these text messages show up on your phone. It's like bling, 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 right? As somebody who works in an office that's in a basement that has no cell phone reception, yeah.
I bet those Discord notifications are fun.
I get the disc. It's the text. It's like the cellular stuff more so. Stuff on Wi-Fi, I'm okay usually.
Yeah. So Eliza would be texting Riley back saying, Calvin and Roberts and I tried to protect Jelly, and he went off into a portal.
Oh shit!
And
that's out loud.
And some guy went after him or went before him. I'm not sure which.
I text Lexa, Roberts is a dick. He almost got me expelled. Jelly ran off, something about his dad, into a portal. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I just want to go down on record by saying I am being terribly misrepresented by all parties.
I feel like as you're walking out, the two of them are texting.
Because I have a British accent, but I'm evil.
I feel like you're saying this as the two of them are at their phones, like texting, and you're like, I would just like to say, for the record, and like talking to them as they're like not even paying attention to you now.
Roberts, why did you punch a professor? What were you thinking?
He was an idiot and he was in our way. We should be out looking for Jelly and rescuing him.
Do you not care about like being at school at all? This is a serious thing. Yes. Like you could get expelled for this.
School is so important. I'm pretty sure my name's on one of these buildings. No, I'm not concerned about being expelled.
Lexa, you get a message that this guy's a pompous asshole.
Well, so Lexa's gonna message back and is gonna say, he's super sus. Riley doesn't trust him. But Lexa's also going to text, what do you mean, Jelly? It ran off. Where are you? We need to meet. Why did you run back down there without me?
I just call Alexa.
There's these text messages going back and forth that would be much better answered with an actual telephone call.
Generally speaking,
Mind you, it's getting late now. It's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning also, and y'all are quite tired. Didn't really expended from the magical and energy that you've exerted from this, and the adrenaline is now wearing off also as it's gotten quite late.
Before I call Lexa, I'm just going to send one more last message that is something about his dad. Robert's here, so I don't want to say it aloud. And I just call Lexa at that point.
Where are you?
Outside the building.
What
Something
building?
went terribly wrong.
I gathered. I almost got hit by magic.
There's an issue with a professor who is now incapacitated. He may wake up thinking he was drunk or something. I don't know.
Did you use that potion?
I didn't do it.
I don't believe you. We said we weren't going to use those potions anymore.
Okay, but I had some on me just in case I needed it for something.
Well, we said we were never going to use them again.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But where are you so we can meet to find Jelly?
Maybe we should head to the dorms.
The dorms.
Well,
I'm going to the dorms.
That's where we are at.
Yeah.
We're at the dorms.
I will meet you there.
Well, hurry up. Wait, is that Lashes walking towards me?
Oh, shit. You audibly hear, oh, shit.
And Riley's like, Lashes? Where do you see a raccoon?
No, right there.
As you see this person in raccoon makeup, very much a human, but like the cute nose and like the whiskers drawn on and like little ears, like a headband with little raccoon ears and darkened eyeshadow makeup, looking very much like a raccoon, but very much a person also.
Am I seeing that? Like, did
No.
manuscript like do
No.
something to our brains?
No, that's Lashes.
I've known you all for like 2 years now. Nobody says anything to me about the raccoon. Okay, thanks.
I'm gonna whisper. Nobody knew about the raccoon.
we don't talk about the raccoon. What is the deal with the raccoon?
So I have a technical question to ask here.
Yes.
Is my broom sitting outside of this building, or is it like in my bag or something?
You're giant.
It's like
Big wheeler.
there's a bike rack there that
Yeah.
that it doesn't fit into.
Yeah.
But you've taken the big wheel over top of the bike rack
Mhm.
so that at least it will stand. So there's like the big
Sounds
wheel on
very
one side, the
accurate.
little wheel on the other side, and you've chained it there.
Yeah.
Because you're pretty convinced someone in this city is going to steal your bike, because it is the coolest fucking thing that you have ever seen.
Eliza, do you want to ride on the handlebars? And I take the magical lock off. Eliza?
Leviosa. Can I like float myself up onto the handlebar? Because they are kind of high, aren't they?
A little bit. I mean, just so everyone understands, Calvin's broom currently looks like one of those old-time bikes that have a giant wheel in the front. The seat is up high, and there's just a tiny wheel in the back.
A penny farthing.
Oh boy.
One of those.
All right.
Meanwhile, I pull up in this like old school powder blue and cream colored Vespa.
No one cares.
Wait,
Robert's
Laura
maybe
or Riley?
A little bit of both.
Roberts,
fired.
maybe we can meet up tomorrow morning if we can't, in order to like figure out if we can find Jelly.
I suppose I was going to go look for him now, but of course, yes, in the morning. It's a great plan.
All right then, guess we're off. And she kind of just like holds on to the handlebars.
And as they pedal away, I take my phone out and I call the captain.
You get no response. It just goes to voicemail. What do you say?
Sir, update me on your location and I will come to you straight away. It seems the mission was a success. Well done.
I mean, fair.
All
What are
right.
your orders?
All right then.
All right, we'll have to resolve that later, perhaps, as you just leave the message. Roberts, do you go do anything to kind of check for Jelly anywhere? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I know some of the captain's magic, right? So I might have a sense of like the range of that spell maybe, or the thing I was thinking about was I might have like some kind of way of like, we might have some kind of way of like tracking each other magically.
okay.
I was thinking like if we got separated, we might have set up some kind of way to like find each other.
Okay. Like I'm thinking something like, I'm thinking on D&D here, but like a kind of like sending stone or something like that, where you would have a direct communicate, like some sort of magical direct communication.
Some kind of magical direct communication device, like a way to talk to each other or send messages, or do you mean an actual message?
You mean like a payphone?
or
Most rare kind of magic that exists in the urban environment.
I saw one
Email.
this weekend.
Text.
I
Or
saw
last
one not too
weekend.
long ago too.
There's an app for that.
There's an app
Yeah.
for that.
Well, Roberts, I'm going to say that you would have some sort of actual magical communication device. I'm going to say it looks very like it's just like a rock in your pocket or something, that maybe it's got like some like, it almost looks like one of those worry stones that have like Chinese language, like
sure,
letter. I'm going to say letters, but I forget. I'm going to characters. Thank you. That have like Chinese characters and it says like love or something. But you have one of those that it seems it's a magical rune instead.
Sure.
Because on ships, I don't know if you know this about the open sea, there aren't many cell phone towers out there.
It's called a satellite phone, dude.
Okay. But you also have magic. So, when you have magic.
Yeah, that's probably
use
easier. That's fine. Look, we have sending stones. Fine.
Yes, you have sending stones that you could communicate with him on. Also, I just want to say, because I want to try and work on wrapping this up and coming to a ending spot, because I want to kind of conclude. Actually, we kind of have 2 sessions worth of like adversity tokens to give out and magic progression to check in on. So I would say that maybe before going to your dorm, you swing by Jelly's trailer.
Me?
Would you? Do you think that sounds logical? Like if
I
you're
don't live in a dorm, I live in a swanky apartment.
Before going to your swanky apartment, would you swing by Jelly's trailer?
Absolutely.
Just to be like, I'm just going to check to see if he's okay. And he's there. And if you were to do that, you would find by this time that you get there that Jelly is there.
So question.
Unless you had a different idea, Menachem, for your character.
I feel like my dad was trying to get me to go. So I'm not trying to go home. I'm trying to get to my dad.
You're trying to get to your dad. Okay.
Unless I like physically walk out, I'm on campus, then I don't, but I don't know how I get out of there. So
you're going to have to portal yourself out basically. And what I'm thinking that would also go with that is you're trying to get to your dad, right? And the closest connection you have to your dad is your trailer. So
I think about my dad, I end up in my trailer.
Yeah. And knowing that that's also kind of a safe space for you. And where you maybe have more additional notes and things like that. So this is something I want to continue to explore and progress in our storyline. But I think as you think about that, you use the Bloodstone tier, which in our previous game, for those listening, viewing now, has to do with we establish some rules that it helps with the connections to the spirits and the ancestors, right? That it's tied to those connections. And so drawing on that energy, connecting with your dad, hearing their voice briefly, and as your portal magic isn't quite strong enough, you haven't really had the chance to open, let alone like direct teleport yourself somewhere. All of that, thinking of your dad brings you to your trailer, I would say, as you figure out a way out of here using the magic that's stored up in that Dragon Bloods tier.
All right, so I guess I'm very frustrated at first, smash around a few things, and then I start taking notes furiously about what I just did.
Okay.
So maybe, at what point does Roberts come in at that?
Sure. And how, like, do you just go, do you go in the trailer? Do you just kind of like go to check from a distance? Like, what would you do to see if you can find
I think
Jelly?
I would have assumed he wasn't there and I would have just like walked in the trailer.
Okay.
And
So
if
let's,
the door was locked, I might have just like busted it open.
yeah. So I feel like there's a whole scene or two that we could play out here. So let's leave that there as you're furiously taking notes, Jelly, after you've managed to and Roberts, you just kind of like let yourself in, basically thinking he's not there, trying to figure out if you could track down what happened to Jelly as you missed diving through that portal. You see a few things strewn about, something like like a plate smashed on the floor, and you walk in and you're just like, oh, hello, and we'll leave it at that. And everyone else will meet back up at the dorms. And there's kind of been some discussion. Does anybody want to add anything to any of the discussion before we kind of wrap this up here for the night? I don't want to just be like, and we're done, in case anybody wanted to say had something they wanted to say or a question they want to ask one of the characters or something.
No, I think whatever is going to happen next is going to be more than just a few sentences. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's leave it at that then for the night. I think that's quite a bit of excitement for this session of Kids on Brooms. We ended up taking a little longer with our check-in and some of the discussions that we were having at the beginning as far as player agency and our lines and veils and everything, that I thought we might get it a little bit further than we did, but I'm really happy with kind of where we're ending here. So what I want to do is before we get into our checkout and everything, I want to do a little bit of like the end of play housekeeping with our Kids on Broom stuff. We didn't do this the end of last session because we kind of left on that cliffhanger. So I'd like to do this twice, almost for last session and this session, as far as giving out some adversity tokens for anybody that really played into their character, their strengths, their weaknesses, or their flaws in particular. Does anybody want to like nominate anyone's play, or was there anything that you really enjoyed that you thought that they should get a little credit for, maybe mark an adversity token for it for future role or something?
I think Jelly should get adversity token for sticking with their characters so well.
Okay. Yeah, making that decision that they're going to stay and try and figure this out.
Yeah, and especially running after dad. Dad is the priority. Like
That's second session. We're looking at the first session, right?
Oh.
Is that what we're doing? Dustin, are we doing
First
both at
session.
once, or are we doing one at a time?
Yeah, let's kind of do them both at once from both the sessions. So So mark 2 adversity tokens then, Jelly or Menachem,
Thank you.
for that for play in both of those sessions.
Well, I was going to call on Calvin's reaction to lashes showing up.
I really like that. The playing the conflict and that flaw there. Not quite sure what to do in that situation, as suddenly faced with something that you weren't quite sure about, weren't expecting. I
That
would
was
say.
pretty awkward.
And this
Yeah.
whole Captain and Roberts thing is pretty freaking brilliant and played out well.
So that's. Do you think that's 1 or 2 for both sessions for Roberts then?
I think definitely probably for both, because
Mhm.
I do like this this thing that's happening with Roberts and whoever this captain is, even though Calvin doesn't like Roberts at all.
Yeah.
Right. I want to give one to Lexa. I'm going to give it to Lexa and Riley for this session. I really like that kind of conversation on the way home, trying to figure out what happened, and sticking with the flaw of just like getting the fuck out of there, right? Like,
Mhm.
hey, I don't know enough about this, that maybe the best thing is for me to just get out, right? And
I feel like Riley's always looking for a shadow, like to be a shadow for somebody, and just
Mhm.
like, I need somebody else to help me figure that out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we didn't get the two of you didn't get as much of a chance to shine, but in those moments where we did have you, I like the way that you played your characters, for sure. And also Lexa for being a badass rugby player.
That too. Yeah.
I think Eliza should get one for trying to protect everyone with that
Mhm.
shield, for sure.
Okay.
Showed a lot of bravery.
Well,
And
there's
the
that.
horror on her face when Roberts decked the professor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I very
Indeed.
much like, what? Do you have no respect for the education system whatsoever?
And Roberts, nope.
Nope.
And also the look that she gave Calvin when Calvin pulled a potion out.
Mm.
Yeah. Totally staying within character, that's for sure.
So Eliza, mark 2 adversity tokens for your play in the last 2 sessions,
All right.
as those events happened over each of different sessions. So,
Thank you.
all right. And the other thing is that everyone, I think, did everyone get like at least 1 or 2 there? I think.
Mhm.
I don't think I missed
Mhm.
anyone. Great. And then the class schedule. Does everyone have their class schedule handy by any chance? We're going to kind of like
Yes.
mark some experience. Of course, Eliza has her class schedule handy. So-
I'm already like raising my hands, and we're
We
not
should
even
share
in
those
time.
in the Discord for Dustin so he can see.
Yeah,
them.
I would. Yeah, we should talk about me getting access to all of those. Although I don't know,
To
did we
the
put them on the
schedule.
Google Drive? Everybody's schedule, but also I do want to work on making a master schedule of
Mhm.
all these different things that
Mhm.
we have put, because that will help me stay a little more organized also. Well, we could talk about that.
You're
too.
gonna have a color-coded spreadsheet.
I'm gonna have to have somebody do that for me, because that is not my strong point. Any of you hyper organizers that may be here, Tennille, I'm looking at you, or perhaps
I do know somebody who is good at them that I might be able to talk to, who lives in my house.
sounds great.
Mm.
If anybody wants to work on that, I would love that as well. So, but yeah, so let's look at the class schedule and take marks for anything that we did. Everyone chose 3 classes, and I don't have everyone's in front of me, so I forget what everyone chose. I know everybody has history of magic. But for any other spells or anything that anyone did that relates to any of those classes that they think
Oh.
Succeeded or tried?
tried, you're learning, right? You're at school and you're learning. So if you've tried or did anything in these, tell me what it is, what the class is, that and take a mark. So this would be, we're going to do this for each session also. So you would have up to 2 marks here. And if anybody gets up to 3 marks in one, I think the box is kind of highlighted. Let me know, because that's going to equate to a bonus that you're going to get.
Would
that.
me trying to use my abs of magic at the Shake Shack
Oh my
count
God,
as charm?
stop.
Monogamous
Did
social-
not have abs of magic.
So I'm gonna
What?
take a mark in magical defense and healing, even though I failed in our first session attempting to get out of the way of the magic.
Okay.
And that's
I
it
would-
because I haven't done anything else.
Okay. So take a mark in
So-
that for sure, as you were trying to keep yourself and
Yep.
others safe and realize that you weren't able to at this point, and perhaps you need to continue to work on that a little more.
I think I should take one in magical defense for holding up the protective shield.
Sure. 100%. That sounds legit.
I'm going to do the same thing for the spell I tried to cast onto that little statue to try and stop it from siphoning everyone's magic away.
Mhm. Is
Ooh,
that
like the
magical
force
defense
field.
also?
Aren't you? Could you take one for your potions?
Potions is not a
Class?
thing I took, a class I took.
Yeah, you took what, like astronomy
Took astronomy, magical defense and healing,
and history of magic.
Makes sense.
and history of magic.
Yeah,
I
everyone's
don't
got
think
history
I
of magic.
tried to cast any spells in the last 2 sessions.
Nope.
So I don't think I get to take any pips.
Wait, but you did help me with the shields.
Yeah.
Right. I'm taking history of magic, charms, and transfiguration.
Oh, okay. So you don't get nothing for that. Okay.
Nothing.
Take one in transfiguration because you refilled your beer glass in the middle of a Shake Shack.
Oh,
did.
that's right.
I did use magic.
You did do magic.
That's
So take
Riley
take a
did
mark
not
in
do that.
transfiguration.
You used magic probably where you shouldn't have.
100%.
Mhm.
I did it under the table on the DL.
Okay. All
Would
right.
portals fit into summoning or magical theory?
Maybe one in both. I'll give
I
you
was
one in
saying,
both.
We'll
We'll split the difference. We'll give
might
you one
be-
in both.
Might be either or.
Mm.
Because you learned a bit more about, like, you in particular were paying attention to these different like circles and runes and had to put something together. So magical theory, all these different magic pieces, and then the portals that you and ultimately the way that you portaled out. So I think it's both.
Can Lexa and Roberts level up in rugby?
Lexa definitely can.
You said attempt.
That is true. That is true. You
I
did
don't
say
know.
attempt.
I don't know how that
That
translates,
attempt
but all
really
right.
failed, though.
Well,
Yeah.
it is one of your activities, Lexa.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
Calvin
And
I
don't know
joined-
unfortunately,
I
we
don't
didn't
know
get
where
to
you
do
marked that
any
at, so.
Dungeon and Quagmires.
We'll have to
So,
get to that for sure.
No.
Calvin and I
Ri-
joined the ritual.
Yeah, that is true.
yeah.
Magic.
Magical history, are you arguing for that?
I was saying more theory, but
Magical theory. What do you have again? You have protection.
I have history of magic, summoning, and magical theory.
Okay. And what do you have, Calvin?
I have magical history, magical defense and healing, and astronomy.
Astronomy.
You have 4.
I'm going to give you a mark in astronomy also then, Calvin. For where is this magic coming from exactly, right? Like astronomy is kind of a weird one, so I want to find a way to reward that. And since you're getting 2 marks already, Jelly, Menachem, we'll stick with that for now. Riley, what classes do you have down?
I've got history of magic, magical defense and healing, and charms. So Riley did nothing.
Mhm.
Magical anyway.
Yeah.
But she did run away.
That is defense.
That is
Yeah,
defense.
I was gonna say take a mark in magical defense and healing because you were with Lexa and kind of keeping each other safe, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes part of a good defense is knowing when to get out of a situation that maybe you're not sure that you can handle at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
To hold them,
Okay.
know when to roll.
Yeah.
Know when to fold them.
Last time I rolled to defend myself and actually defend myself,
Yep.
my arm got mangled. So
That's why I picked magical defense and healing, so I could continue to heal
exactly.
I feel like a number of people took that, huh?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have the exact classes as Riley.
Yep. Of course. Besties.
Besties.
All right. Great. So I think everyone got at least one mark. Some people got two there. So from the play over these sessions, nobody got up to 3 marks in any one of them yet.
By the way, it's on my sheet. The second box is bolded, but I don't have
It is
two
the
in
second
anything.
box.
And then after that,
Oh, it's the second box? Okay.
4. Yeah.
It's 3 blank ones and then the fourth one.
Okay. Great. Maybe by the next session we'll start to get to add a little bonuses to characters as you continue to take marks and learn as students. So all right. So let's move over to our checkout, Menachem, and
right.
start wrapping up our session tonight.
Let's start to leave the magic circle by answering some questions first. And this is a 2-part question. What surprised you about your character's actions today? And how might you, the player, reacted differently in the same situation?
I'll go. Nothing surprised me. I didn't do anything but have a conversation.
We ran away and had a conversation.
So I don't think really Lexa did much. Kayla, however, does not flight, so I would have absolutely have engaged in that situation and had not left, because that's how I roll. Are we answering all of the questions, Menachem, or just that one for now?
Those 2, and then we'll come back
Okay.
to the
Okay.
last question.
There's my answer. Do you want me to pick someone else?
Go for it. Pick someone else. Let's keep it moving.
Lara.
I am not surprised at Riley's actions at all. How might I have acted differently in the same situation? I am the kind of person who will flight. I hate conflict. But I don't know if I would have left completely. I might have hung around outside manuscripts to make sure my friends were okay, but then also might have still ran away because crazy shit going down. So I would have texted my friends too. Yeah. So same kind of boat. Not surprised. I'm going to send it to Neil.
I think the only thing that I'm surprised about is that Eliza didn't just, I mean, she was talking to Calvin at the time, but I feel like if she had been in a place where she saw Roberts like haul up and about to do that punch, that she would have tried to take it for the professor.
Oh, wow.
She would have tried to do it. I don't know if she would have been quick enough though. But I'm a little surprised that, well, it just kind of happened, and it's just like, like it's the worst thing ever to happen for a teacher to get punched like that. Like, oh my goodness, like she's just like cringing and hurting, and that's gonna give her all the feels. How might I have reacted differently in the same situation? Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure exactly. Eliza and I have a lot in common, so I kind of think I would have done like pretty much what Eliza did, which was like create some kind of protective shield so that she could help her friends and hopefully make it a safer situation if she could. The situation with the punch, yeah, I actually, I personally, Tennille, would have attempted to try to de-escalate the situation and maybe like talk to Roberts, like think about this for a moment, or try to distract him or something before it happens.
Still on this? I punched the professor.
Yes. Yes.
The big deal.
It's a big deal.
It is actually a pretty big deal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go
so big.
randomly
Lexa wasn't
punching
even allowed
people.
to do it the last time we played.
Yep.
I just like to point that out.
I don't think I stopped you from doing it.
It was
I just made
heavily.
sure.
I was like
warned
heavily
her.
warned. It was like there was really it was like there was no alternative. So
There wasn't
yeah.
time to de-escalate.
So
This one. Boom.
Yeah, there wasn't really time to de-escalate. And, I think like Eliza has a lot of mixed feelings also about Calvin using his potion on the professor, because like in many ways that's a huge no-no, but then she also doesn't want to get in trouble and she doesn't want them to remember. So it's like she's like torn, like, oh, it's bad, but in a way it's kind of good. But he's, like, oh, I shouldn't have done it. Oh, but he was protecting me. So
I would like to point out that while the professor may not remember, there were other members of manuscript still in that room.
That is true.
Mhm.
Halloween costumes.
That is true too.
There may still be consequences for this. We'll see how it plays out.
Right. Yes. It was some guy in a mask, right? Like looking like Zorro punched the professor.
Well, looking more like the Dread Pirate Roberts, I believe. But yes.
Oh, the Dread Pirate Roberts. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will go to Calvin. Did Calvin go?
No, not yet.
Okay, go ahead.
What surprised me about my character's actions, that he tried to erase the memory of a teacher. I mean,
Are you really surprised?
It sounds like Calvin. It really does.
Calvin would do that, yes, but I'm surprised that Calvin would do that, because
I'm not.
I definitely wouldn't do that. That's definitely how I would have reacted differently. I probably would have confronted Roberts about it. I definitely wouldn't have like just been like, well, I'm just gonna erase this guy's memory so I don't get in trouble now.
Are you sure?
Would have been therapeutic.
Yeah, I wish I could do that about now.
I'm gonna pass it over to Roberts to
Am I surprised by any of Robert's actions? I was surprised at like this weird drive he had to like protect Jelly, and that's kind of how he interpreted his instructions. And so he was prepared to like knock Jelly the fuck out and drag him out of there. So that was surprising to me. And then he didn't. And then he was just like, oh, you're going to get into this ritual? Sure. That makes sense. Would I have done any of this? God, no. I would have like tried to drag if I was in that kind of space, and saw someone putting themselves in danger, I would have like tried to do everything I could to interesting rationalization. I would definitely try to talk them out of it. I'm not a violent person, so I just like Robert's just like cold cocking someone. That's that's not something I could do. Who hasn't gone? Kayla?
Oh no, I started.
Oh, Menachem.
Okay. So I have been in multiple crisis situations, right? I worked on the street for 13 years doing outreach, LGBTQ and/or homeless youth, and I stepped into the middle of fights to break them up numerous times with support from my coworkers. We were trained in this. And so I'm pretty confident that in a crisis, I would step up to do what was needed because I've been trained and I've done it many times. I'm a little surprised I didn't just start off by casting the portals like I thought would be their answer and took the role. But then again, that kind of was like, no, that's what the person in charge says needs to happen. And I've also learned in crisis intervention, the person who's calling the shots, you follow them. So you don't end up, having to mixed messages and then the kids fighting with each other. Right. And I also worked in a school with, where we had to break up fights. So I'm not surprised. And I don't think I would have reacted all that differently. I mean, in a real magic crisis, it might freak me out, but just a crisis in general, I don't think I would have reacted all that different than trying to do what was necessary to help take care of things.
Yeah, and actually I was surprised by Roberts because I was almost expecting to gear up for that initial situation to go a bit differently, where he was going to try and pull Jelly and Eliza kind of out of there to what he was perceiving to safety, and then kind of let you get involved with it as well. So
yeah, I had a drop in energy. I was like, oh, no fight. Oh, okay, go do this.
yeah,
that is a very good point. Like, I thought he was going to be trying to get us out of it, but it seemed like at some point his thought process changed on that, and he ended up trying to help us out.
Yeah, so that kind of surprised me. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of fun and interesting, and I like the way that all that played out.
And our last question, because everybody's gone, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I sometimes lose track. What did you appreciate about your play or someone else's play, if you haven't already answered the question?
I appreciated the actual looks that Tennille gave at multiple points during the session. the real, they felt like very real reactions.
Thank you.
I'm gonna throw it to Riley.
I really appreciated, we were all gearing up for this big fight in the beginning, and I love the play to just sidestep that. Let's go a different direction. Let's help with this ritual. Because we had a long conversation in the beginning trying to figure about a player agency and consent, and that's exactly what happened. So I liked that. Pass to, I mean, a lot of us already answered this too, but I'll pass it to Scott.
I
Looks
think
tired.
I am so tired. You can see my eyes like struggling. I think what I appreciated was Menachem's choice to kind of like be explicit about like my characters coming over here and getting involved in the ritual, which is not what I expected. I thought your guy was just going to like be crouched in the corner and be like, no, I have to study this for posterity. That was when I was going to drag you out of there, be like, you're being an idiot. But you were actively trying to present it. And that was not where I thought you would go, which then made me go in a different place. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. So that was super fun. because I was geared up for a fight. To Neil.
Well, you got a little bit of a fight in anyway.
Take that, Professor Moriarty.
I have to say that I really appreciate Dustin playing captain, the captain in this session today. It was just I didn't know anything about the captain, and like when we got a look at it in the last session, that was exciting, and then just like seeing more of this and just finding out like what is this guy's motivation? Like I still have no idea.
It's so good.
It's so good. Like Dustin has this way of just like not answering questions, just like keeping this mystery going. And it's just like, I still have so many questions. I still want to know more.
And I got to help create this character. I don't know anything about this either. So I'm like, I don't know. I got to name him.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, like seeing the scene between Jelly and Dustin, and then watching Scott's reaction. Like I was watching Scott's reaction. He's like, yep, I know. And I'm just like, oh, what do you know?
The all the tchotchkes that the captain pulls out. Dustin was like, I need you to create 3 pieces of treasure that you guys have acquired over the years. And I'm like, sure. And I wrote these like really like ornate specific descript, and Dustin's like reading them verbatim. I love it.
Oh, it's so awesome. That's cool. That's cool when you get to like really have a hand in like the setting and the world
in the
like,
most superficial way.
Yeah, but you still feel like so connected to it, right? Yeah. That's awesome. Cool. All right. Well, I will kick it to Jelly to go next.
So I feel a little bad that Riley and Lexa didn't get a lot of scenes and didn't get to play, and the players didn't get to play too much, Lara and Caleb. But I will say you took that texting kind of information gossiping scene and dealing with lashes showing up and made a good role play situation. I really appreciated watching that unfold. That was everybody.
Is that everybody?
I don't think so. I don't think Lexa went.
Did Lexa go?
I don't know.
Caleb?
I don't
What?
think so. Not for this particular question.
I don't know.
It's getting late. It's easy to lose track.
No,
I
I do know. I was just
You
trying to wrap
know.
this up. I really enjoyed Dustin's captain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I even dressed like the
And,
captain tonight
yeah,
for
it was
everyone.
good.
It's fun to start off the session like that. Maybe some of you got the idea of what was going on, but maybe I was hoping not a little bit, and then be like the captain. Yeah.
No, it's
I needed to get into the mood and the vibe of it a little bit. So
it kept me engaged. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I appreciate the feedback to Neil as well, that it's always fun to like answer questions, but then create new ones also. Right. And I'm glad that worked with the captain. I don't want to reveal all of the captain's motivations or what they're doing, but I also want to help answer some of the questions of who this character is and what they're doing here also, perhaps. So yeah, it was fun. And I appreciate other people playing with me on that and giving me the chance. And I guess I got to say thanks to Menachem as well for letting me monologue a little bit there as the captain. I was like, what do I do if he tries to punch me or tries to do, well, if he tries magic, it's just not going to work. So that's fine. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen exactly. So we'll see. So yeah, it was just nice to kind of monologue a little bit, give a little bit of history, but unlike a Bond villain, he's not going to tell you everything right away. And I'm not saying that he's a villain either. He's just a character who's not been treated well, has had some experience that are unfriendly when he was in one of these societies. Now we find out. So, and maybe trying to do something about that, trying to change it in some way. So, yeah, it's fun to make these characters that have different things going on, right? They're not just like good or bad, right? You know, that there's nuance and everything in it. And yeah, I really appreciate Scott having made these items for me to like just bring out and be like, it was fun to watch you be like, oh, that's cool, you know, because you had actually created this item that I'm using.
I mean, I made the Maltese Falcon and you pulled it out of your bag. I don't know. Yeah, Tim and Malcolm are shaking their head. Yes. I don't know if the other three of you have seen that movie, but it's literally like the description is like it's made by a jeweler from Malta. It's this peregrine falcon with these emerald eyes, and I'm just like, the Maltese Falcon. And you pulled out the Maltese Falcon. It was great.
Yep.
Well, if that's everybody who wants to speak, then we should close the circle with the name ritual in reverse. Character name, goodbye. Player name, good night.
I played Calvin.
Bye, Calvin.
Bye,
Good night,
Calvin.
Calvin.
Hi, Calvin.
Hi,
Sorry I
Calvin.
ran off.
And this is a tired Tim saying good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Tim.
tired
Tim.
Tired
Tim.
dreams.
I played Roberts,
Oh,
Good
Robert.
night,
Bye,
Roberts.
Roberts.
Bye,
Bye,
Roberts.
and I am ready for bed, Scott.
Pleasant dreams,
Good night,
Scott.
Scott.
Sleep
Thanks,
well,
Scott.
Scott.
And
This is your
dream of
captain
large
speaking.
women.
I've been Eliza,
Good night,
night,
Eliza.
Good night,
Eliza.
Eliza.
Bye, Eliza.
Eliza.
and I'm
Eliza.
Tennille, everyone. Good night.
Bye.
Good night,
Tennille.
Tennille.
I've been Riley tonight.
Good night,
Bye,
Riley.
Riley.
Hey, Riley.
Good night,
Bye,
bestie Riley.
And I'm Laura.
Good
Good
night,
night, Laura.
Laura.
Night,
Good
Laura.
night, Laura.
I've
Hi.
been.
Go ahead.
I've been Lexa,
Good night.
Bye,
Lexa.
Lexa.
Bye, Alexa.
and I'm Kayla.
Good night,
Good
Caleb.
night,
Pleasant dreams,
Kayla.
Good
Kayla.
night,
Good
Kayla.
rest.
I have played Jelly.
Good night,
Goodbye,
Kayla.
Jelly.
Bye,
Bye,
Jelly.
Good
Jelly.
night,
Good night,
Jelly.
Jelly.
Ooh, Calvin called me Jelly.
No,
And-
Tim did.
Tim did.
Oh, right. I am Menachem.
Good night, Menachem.
Good night,
Hi,
Menachem.
Menachem.
And I am your game master.
Good
who's
night,
been
Game
playing
Master.
the
Night.
captain tonight.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Captain.
night,
Good night,
Captain, my
Captain.
captain,
Goodbye,
Game
Captain.
Master Dustin.
Yeah, not Captain, my Captain.
The captain to Tennille.
Oh, I'm the
Captain.
captain to your Tennille tonight, huh? How did I miss that terrible pun and a chance to make a song reference as well, perhaps? I actually don't know any Captain and Tennille songs, if I'm honest. Anyway, I'm Dustin. It's
night,
been
Dustin.
lovely playing tonight. And thank you, everyone, for playing along and enjoying these characters. Have a good night.
Dustin.
See you
Good
next week
night,
with this same
everyone.
game.
See you next week.
Yes, we
you
will
next
see
week.
everyone back next week for more Kids on Brooms, and we'll pick up and see what happens when a professor regains consciousness, perhaps, and where we go next after the Wellspring may not have as much energy as the university is expecting this year.
Uh-oh.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thanks for coming along.
Good night.
Bye.
Right.